YouTube creators and subscribers, I just wanted to thank you all for tuning into my video. Today we're going to be going through a subject based on the history of Earth and its creation, and that's based off the Hedian Eon. So, it is the first geological eon of Earth and took place before the Pre-Archean time period. The formation of the Earth begins here, and this event took place more than 4.6 billion years ago and lasted for about 0.6 billion years. No rocks existed on Earth at this time, and it was extremely hot and contained a lot of lava. This period starts with the Earth colliding with the Moon and ends with heavy bombardment of space rocks. So in this diagram here, we have the breakdown of Earth's history, and we're starting in this period right here, the Hadean period. And currently, us humans are in this period over here. So the collision with the Moon had reset the Earth in a historical way, forever changing the way life grows on planet Earth. The impact created a temporary magma ocean. So basically the Earth was all fire, all lava, and very, very hot. No life existed at that time. The planet had just formed and was, like I said, extremely hot temperature-wise. Very few traces of this eon remain on Earth. So scientists and geologists, they cannot find traces of this eon because it was very hot, and everything that was considered evidence probably couldn't withstand the heat of the lava. The word Hedian derives from the word Hades. Hedian thus is a perfect word to describe the hellish conditions of Earth at that time. Now, there are two lunar divisions in this time period. The pre-Nectarian starts at the formation of the Moon's crust, and the Nectarian starts 3,930 million years ago and ends when the late heavy bombardment ends. Earth was called Proto-Earth, or Telos. And so once the Moon and Earth collided, this really set in motion the propagation of new life and new creation on Earth. The planet begins with the separation of solids from gas in the solar nebula and is followed by a growth of culminating in massive collisions with protoplanets. So the Earth itself, before it became Earth, was essentially involved with numerous collisions. And these protoplanets varied in sizes. And one of those protoplanets, after the collision, became the Earth and the Moon. Now, the last collision was an oblique impact between a Mars-sized body and the Venus-sized proto-Earth. At this point, mantle material was ejected to form the Moon, and it left Earth as magma ocean. The Hedian environment had extreme silicate and water vapor greenhouse gases, molten crust which eventually solidified, and was struck by many asteroids of various sizes. And now you can imagine, constantly over millions of years, asteroids of varying sizes would strike the Earth and send in some carbon, some new water vapors, and some other elements that are essential for life here on Earth. Now, the largest asteroids would have been had the capability to vaporize the oceans and killing off all pre-existing life. Hedian Rocks. Geologists identify a few Hedian rocks from the following locations: Western Greenland, northwestern Canada, Western Australia. The oldest dated zircon crystals enclosed in the metamorphosed sandstone conglomerate in the Jack Hills of rare Guinness terrain of Western Australia, and it dates back to 4.404 GA, and this is a very, very huge number, actually. Very, very huge number. So at least like, it looks like 4.4 billion years ago. Alright, so theory suggests that sources of water are from comets, meteorites, hydrous asteroids migrating from the asteroid belt, and hydrous minerals forming in the inner solar system and accreting directly to the terrestrial planets. Water is considered the building blocks of life, and so without water, life wouldn't exist on Earth. Most likely, that was a very small percentage of water accreted to Earth from cometary impacts. 100% of Earth's water did not come from the Oort cloud comets, probably contribute to about 10 to 15%, or up to 50% or more of Earth's water, depending on the scientific model used. If asteroids are the same as 4 billion years ago, then it is unlikely that they brought water to Earth. Thus, from the early solar system, made up of hydrogen and oxygen, could have combined to make water vapor. At one point, there was about 2 Earth masses of water vapor in the accretion disk inside O2AU. The mass of water available in terrestrial planets exceeded the mass of water accreted by a factor of about 12. If all 4 terrestrial planets initially had 50 Earth oceans of water. Origin of water on Earth. It is unlikely that all 4 terrestrial planets receive 50 Earth oceans. There is a possibility of enhancing the availability of water vapor reservoir by inward migration of ices and phyllosilicates. Displacements and bonding of molecules could have caused a retention and absorption of water, a very complicated process and explanation. Water obtained through the absorption, usually through the nebular water. Planet's water was created because the Earth accreted wet, and now this is a theory that the Earth was accreting wet vapor green gases. And then this contributed to given the capability to produce water. The impact of the proto-moon could have created a rock vapor atmosphere around the planet. This rock vapor atmosphere could have left behind hot volatiles that would result in heavy CO2 atmosphere with hydrogen and water vapor. So those volatiles elements would really help shape the atmosphere. Liquid oceans could have existed even if surface temperatures was 230 Celsius due to high atmospheric pressure of 27 atmospheres. As the Earth cooled, the dissolving water removed most CO2 from the atmosphere, and liquid water most likely existed 4.4 billion years ago on Earth. So that concludes the studies of the Hedian Eon. Very early stage of life on Earth, and considered there was basically no life, just a big lava fire pit consisting of very few elements, molecules, and a little bit of water, and over time it developed and became Earth-like. So in the next episode we will branch off further into this historic growth of Earth. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And do you have a good afternoon or evening.